Trent, you gave yourselves a sniff in the last quarter there percentage-wise, but how did you sort of see the rest of the game in today's effort?
Yeah, I thought Gold Coast were really game and probably should have scored a bit more. They were unlucky not to. I thought we controlled periods of the game, but we let ourselves down in a few areas until the last quarter, and I thought our last quarter was pretty complete, which is really important because it gives us some momentum going into finals, which we definitely needed considering our last game and a half before today weren't great, obviously. So we needed some momentum. So it was really pleasing that we got rewarded, and our hard run, which we know that we're capable of, we're producing that and finishing the scoreboard.
So you've got a 1-3 record against fellow finalist teams now heading into finals. Is that a concern, or is it a matter of turning it around and doing some damage now?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a concern. Well, it's not a concern. It's something we have to improve on. We've sort of had excuses against, I think, North Melbourne and Melbourne. We had no excuses against Adelaide, and then we played very well against Collingwood. So I think quite a few of the sides are in similar situations as well with their records, and it's the Adelaides and Brisbanes and Melbournes have got those really good records going into finals. So, but the good thing about finals is we all start 0-0, and those past wins count for nothing. Every single final in AFLW is a knockout final. Adelaide and Melbourne get the week off, but every single final's a knockout final. There's a lot of pressure on those sides who've had really good years. Probably not as much pressure on us now where we're coming from, but we're really looking forward to the challenge and looking forward to playing with some freedom next week.
Do you embrace the prospect of travelling back to Melbourne, because you sort of had your best form over there early in the year?
Yeah, I think we've won more games in Melbourne than Perth this year, so that's definitely the case. Actually, we're undefeated in Melbourne, I think, because we lost the one in Tasmania. So it's actually, when we're away, it was really difficult, but also a great experience. So we're actually really looking forward to going back there. I think it'll bring back some really good memories. And yeah, we're really excited about getting on the road and doing that. And like I said, to win it, you'd have to win 3 away games. But yeah, we'll just have a go at the first one and see what happens. But we're really looking forward to that.
Coops, very important to get Bowers back in before the finals. What did you think of her today? 17 tackles, I think I saw her on the sheet. Certainly adds something, doesn't she?
Yeah, 18 possessions as well. She played that in less than 60% game time, I'm pretty sure. That was what we were aiming at today. So she was only doing 5 minutes at the start of the quarters and then 5 or 6 at the end, and having a big break through the middle. That was just risk mitigation. She was totally fine, ready to go, but we just didn't want her playing under any level of fatigue when statistics shows that injuries are more likely. So that was why we did that. And it was really good that we've got that into her so she can let rip next week at 100 miles an hour. Our medical team's done a lot of work with her and with Janelle Cuthbertson to have her ready to go next week as well. So it's really pleasing that we're going to have our 2 All-Australians back together for the first time since round 2.
Talk us about Ty up forward. Are we likely to see a bit of that over the finals? What did you think of her today?
Yeah, we've always got the option. She can obviously play in the ruck and she can play back as well. But we've been struggling in front of the ball. So we sort of made the decision. Well, she went back initially because Cuthbertson went down. And knowing that Cuthbertson's going to be back next week, we really wanted to give Anya some time to find her feet. Saying that, Randall and Emma King were very influential yesterday, so we may still have to start Anya in the back line. But yeah, she looked really dangerous forward. She gives us that bailout option, and she's so quick on the ground. She's a really difficult forward to match up on. So yeah, really pleased to see her in really good form.
You already talked briefly about how important it was to finish off strongly. Can you just touch on that? Was that something that you focused on at 3/4 time? Like the first 3 quarters haven't been great. We need to get some momentum here.
That was what I was thinking internally. I didn't say those words to the players. I actually challenged the players at 3/4 time. We were doing a lot of things right, but we were missing easy targets and some really basic drop marks. So we talked about at halftime, don't worry about that, that'll come. But at 3/4 time, we actually sharpened them up a bit and said, no, it's not good enough. You've got to miss a target every now and then, but we're sort of using the ball without a lot of care sometimes when players were open, and then being really loose with some marking that we're dropping. So we told everyone, okay, let's concentrate, let's make sure that we're sharp and go from there. And then that changed the game from that point on. There was moments early on in the game, you can see from up high, if we hit this target, we're going to go 3 on 4 and probably have a shot on goal, and we're missing simple targets, and we can't afford to do that against the good teams. So we talked about, just sharpening up our concentration more than anything, and it worked.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
G'day, Trent. It's Justin here. Just in terms of in the lead up to the game, how much talk was there about that percentage gap with North Melbourne?
0. We read Eliza's article, but her maths was a little bit off, I think, to that. We needed to, we worked out it was, I did beforehand, it was going to be about a 52 point that we're going to need. We were so far away last week. And to be honest, we're fine to go on the road. So for us to go flat out today to win by that margin was probably going to be counterproductive, considering we're really confident to go on the road. So it was not a be-all and end-all thing at all. I spoke about the players for 15 seconds at the start of our meeting today to say, don't even worry about that. And to be honest, in the box, we thought about it with 3 minutes to go because we're never that close. So, no, it wasn't a big part. We're looking forward to the challenge of going away, and also the fact that we get to go away together. So it wasn't a big part.
Yeah, and I guess in other years, especially a few years ago, you guys were one of the favourites to win the flag going into the finals. What's it like now going in, probably more as an underdog and having less pressure on you?
Yeah, enjoyable from my point of view. Probably a lot of sides, a lot of people don't expect us, and that's fair enough with our record against the best teams. So, but we still think our best football can be really good, and it's going to be. There's 6 sides that are in there. There's not a lot between them. We saw Adelaide finished on top and Collingwood 6. We saw what a cracking game that was last week. So there's not a lot between them. The teams that can have the game played on their terms for the longest and can also arrest momentum when it goes away from them. Anyone can beat anybody. So it's going to be a fantastic final series. I look forward to being part of it and also watching the other games that I'm not involved in.
So winning from 5th, that's not impossible. It's not like finishing 7th or 8th in the men's competition or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I think this year that because there's no little between them, it's a possibility. Like there's no one that you say is that far above the other teams. Obviously, it takes a fair turnaround for us to beat Melbourne on last week's form, but even that's going to be a different scenario. And with a team like Melbourne, we wouldn't play until the grand final anyway, if that did unfold. So, yeah, there's going to be some great matchups next week, and then the prelim final and the grand final. I can't see anyone dominating or being considered unbeatable all the way through. So it's really exciting time for the AFLW competition.
And what do you make of the prospect of the season starting in August next year and staying in that sort of time slot?
Yeah, I think it's the right time slot from listening to what the AFL have told us with the different things like ratings and all that, and it seems like the right time slot. Next year, this year, it's probably not ideal to get there as quickly as we're going to be asked to do, but we've shown AFLW we're pretty versatile. We can go with the flow, and I think the earlier we do it, probably better off we're going to be for that following season. So it can be done. We'll just have a little bit less leave, and we'll make sure the players get a right amount of time off as well. It's really important that we look after them, and the sides that go deep into this season, they may start similar to the men, may start their pre-season slightly later than those that are knocked out at this point. So yeah, it can be done, and yeah, it's exciting that it's not that far away if once you do get knocked out.
Was it not ideal to do it this year purely for players getting leave from work, or are there more factors in that?
Oh, this has been a pretty tough year on the players. So yeah, you got the leave from work factor. You've got just the general fatigue of playing footy and doing that. and also the planning aspect of it as well. Like, so your staffing, the players. I know I was really looking forward to my July holiday that I booked with the family, and that maybe you have to put on hold. But they're the type of things that, the sacrifices that you make when you're working in professional sport. And yeah, I think we're willing to do them for the good of the competition. And I think it will be the best thing for the players long term to do it that way.
Yeah. Where was your holiday in July going to be?
Yeah, Exmouth. I was very much looking forward to that. A few days on the way in Kalbarri, and get a bit of sun and actually be able to enjoy it rather than in footy season. There's a lot of sun, but I don't get much time to enjoy it. So I was looking forward to that, but we'll work out something else, no doubt.
Oh, cool. Thanks for that, and good luck for the next week.
Trent, Mim Strom, you've had so many youngsters recognised. Rising Star nominations this year is up to 3. Is she one who's maybe been sort of overlooked for her body of work over the past few years?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know who the judges are, and I'm not sure if they're aware that Mim's still eligible because she's been there every week. I think she's played her 27th game. She's led the ruck every single time, and she's won, I think, 20 or 21 games now as the lead ruck. So her body of work has been quite exceptional. And yeah, if she's not nominated, so be it. But we value her highly for what she does. And I think she's been one of the more influential players of that age over the last 3 years. And it'd be nice if she did get a nomination, but Mim's not the sort of person that worries about that at all. And
just on Gemma Houghton, if my maths is correct, which it usually isn't, she got 2 goals today, and after 3 weeks, sort of being held quite up forward. Is it good to see her sort of get back on the scoreboard leading into finals? Yeah,
it is. And to be honest, it wasn't the scoreboard that impressed me today. It was her running really hard to give our defenders some outlets on that far wing in the last quarter. That was, for me, the most pleasing things. And when she's playing like that, the goals tend to happen. And when she's not moving, it doesn't. So we've worked hard with Jam. She's really reconnected with her program. She does some boxing with Springer, who everyone knows at Freo is really important, and get her on her toes, get her moving pre-training as well as pre-game. And today we saw her back to something like her best, which is really pleasing because we're a lot better side when she's up and about.